Hello guys and welcome to today's video. Today we're doing a little bit of a scenario that would never actually happen of a Spartan versus a Gladiator. Now this video has been suggested by one of you guys and I appreciate the suggestion. I have thought about doing videos like this in the past about possibly a Spartan versus a Centurion or Legionary, and I may as well start with this one. Now I want to get a few things just off the bat here. This is overall my personal opinion, and I'm going to try and back those opinions up as much as I can with as much evidence and support for my opinions as I can. Also, so much depends on what Gladiator we're talking about, what armor the Gladiator has, what time period the Spartan and Gladiator are from that we're talking about, how wealthy this Spartan is. So much depends on just how they're fighting, where they're fighting, and it's going to be extremely difficult for us to have a decisive answer as Gladiator beats Spartan, there we go, goodbye. There's so many different scenarios and different types. Spartans are a little bit more uniform than Gladiators. You have some Gladiators that are slaves, you have some Gladiators that are professional warriors. And so much really depends on what type of warrior, what time we are taking these soldiers from. So I'm going to pick about just of ease around a 500 BC Spartan, so sort of the golden age of Spartan warfare. This Spartan would most likely have at this time period a Corinthian helmet, a bronze muscular cuirass, bronze leg greaves, a bronze-faced aspis, roughly 8-foot double-ended dory spear, and either a xiphos or a coppice sword. This Gladiator, as I said, there's so many different types of gladiators, and from different regions they would have had different stuff. Some of them tried to catch people in nets, whilst others used two-handed spears, and others used gladi and scutums, so it's really difficult to pick which type, and obviously each type would fight in their own characteristic style for how those weapons are meant to be used. So, for argument's sake, let's just choose a gladi or a gladius and a scutum shield for this particular gladiator. So let's just have a look at each of these combatants. A gladiator, or this particular gladiator that we are talking about, is a professional gladiator. He's been trained and does this for a living as professionally, and he is extremely skilled at what he does. A Spartan has been trained from the age of 7 in the agoge to fight and be an extremely ruthless warrior. Not just in phalanx combat, however, he's also been trained in dueling, also wrestling, and so much so that supposedly the Spartans were actually banned from Olympic wrestling because of how brutal and efficient they were at it. So there's sort of a scenario that I like to liken this to, as the Gladiator is a professional boxer in our modern age, and the Spartan is a highly trained military operative such as Navy SEAL or SAS. Put them in an arena together, in a boxing arena. This is what the boxer is trained for. He's done this for years and he's extremely good at what he does. The Navy SEAL, however, or the SAS operative, is not awful in a one-on-one scenario. He too has also been trained, just not as thoroughly as the boxer. The boxer knows many tricks, so does the Navy SEAL. However, this is the boxer's specialty. This is what he is extremely good at, so the boxer would have the edge over the military operative. However, give this boxer a M4 or an assault rifle, put him in a mountainous region with an SAS operative, and he stands basically no chance. Put an army of, or a squad of SAS operatives versus a group of boxers. Again, SAS operatives most likely are going to come out on top there. So we can bring this back to our scenario of a Spartan versus a Gladiator, as the Gladiator is trained for the arena. He is trained to be one-on-one. He is good at what he does. Now, the Spartan has the edge on armor, as lots of Gladiators were quite lightly armored with just helmets, some greaves, and some arm armor. Sometimes they would have some torso armor, but typically depicted on Roman statues and sculptures, their torso is quite open. So this does give the Spartan the edge of being able to take a hit more confidently than the Gladiator. As for weapons, the Gladius and the Xiphos are quite similar, and the spear, obviously the Spartan would have an advantage at range. However, this Gladiator is also trained to fight against other gladiators that use spears or longer weapons, such as a spear. Now, they both have very large shields, and many people say that the Aspis, or the hoplite shield, the shield that the Spartan's using in this case, is absolutely awful in one-on-one combat, which it is not the best. But this Gladiator is also using a scutum, which is also not designed for one-on-one combat. So they both sort of cancel each other out there. The Aspis is meant to be interlocked in a phalanx, and the scutum is meant to be in testudo or other Roman shield walls. So they're both designed for the same thing, not necessarily ideal, such as a heated shield for more individual combat. With that out of the way though, I do think that in an arena, the Gladiator does have a slight advantage, even though he is under-armoured and under-weaponed compared to the Spartan. Sometimes he would have more weapons. However, though, he has been trained against soldiers from all across the Roman Empire that have fought in gladiator arenas. He's trained for this exact purpose in an arena to fight against other trained gladiators. That does not mean, though, that the Spartan does not stand a chance in the gladiator arena, as he too is an extremely skilled soldier, not just in group combat, but he has also been trained in wrestling, such as covered earlier. Now, if we want to put a Spartan and a gladiator in a battlefield, the Spartan would 90% of the time come out on top. The Spartan is used terrain for his advantage. This is exactly what he has been used for, trained for, and this is his profession now. He's not in an arena, he's not enclosed, he can do exactly what he wants, and that's something that the Gladiator is probably quite alien to. So in that scenario, I would say the Spartan has the edge and would most likely come out on top, as once again, his armor is better, his weapons and everything is designed for this type of scenario. Now, if we want to put a phalanx of Spartans versus a large group of gladiators, again, the Spartans would come out on top. Now, we have seen stuff like this actually happen with Spartacus, and where he tried to rally up loads of gladiators and fight, and it didn't go too well. So once again, the Spartans' discipline, which is a massive, massive factor in this. Their discipline, their skill, this is exactly what they're supposed to do. This is their life, that goals and their life achievements. And though the gladiators are good, they are not necessarily good at fighting disciplined, trained, Spartan, professional warriors. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. If you disagree with me, please leave a comment, and I would happily have a civilized discussion with you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and checking it out, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.